Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago Fire and Law and Order stars teamed up for unexpected crossover, here's how. 1. Chicago and Law and Order exist in the same television universe. We have seen shows like SVU and Chicago PD team up to solve especially tricky cases, and both franchises share a production studio, Wolf Entertainment. We did not expect, however, to get a covert team-up between Ice-T of SVU fame and Taylor Kinney of Chicago Fire fame on Monday, April 21. The two actors posed for photos together during an event for a New Jersey business called The Medicine Woman. Parade claims that Ice-T and Taylor Kinney are partners in the business, which is why both actors were in attendance. The latter confirmed this when he posted about his time with Kinney on Instagram. Yesterday's grand opening was crazy. Shout out to one of the Epthemed Women's actual partners at Taylor Kinney 111 Chicago Fire, Ice-T wrote. The rapper/actor is pretty active on social media, so the notion of him sharing details about his off-screen life makes sense. It was the inclusion of Kinney that caught most fans off guard. The Chicago Fire star rarely opens up or uses social media. He's more likely to appear on the IG of his wife, Ashley Kruger, or the One Chicago account than his own. Case in point, Kinney's last Instagram post on his personal account was December 2022. Kinney's reticence to share with fans was a huge talking point during his leave of absence from Chicago Fire in 2023. Thankfully, he came back. Both Ice-T and Kinney are among the most beloved faces on their respective shows. They have been present for the bulk of SVU and Chicago Fire's run, with Ice-T debuting in Season 2 and Kinney having been around since the Chicago Fire pilot. Neither is seemingly planning to call it quits anytime soon. Retire? Ice-T wrote on Instagram back in March. I'm lucky enough to act and do music. As an artist, those are jobs you simply never want to stop doing. Ever. Kinney has been less vocal about his plans, but he's fully rebounded from the aforementioned 2023 period in which it seemed as though he would be leaving the show. Kinney missed a handful of episodes in Season 11, but the actor has seemingly recommitted to his role as Kelly Severide. So much so, in fact, that his character is getting ready to adopt a child with wife Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, ahead of Fire's Season 13 finale. We may never get to see a proper Chicago Fire and SVU crossover, but we're glad to know that its stars are friendly in real life. When it comes to high-stakes drama, gripping suspense, and characters with undeniable chemistry, few shows can match the intensity of Chicago Fire and Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. But fans were in for a jaw-dropping surprise when NBC quietly greenlit a top-secret crossover event that brought together two of the network's most beloved franchises in an episode that had everyone talking. The crossover, titled Inferno of Justice, began with what seemed like a routine emergency for Firehouse 51, when Lieutenant Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, and his squad were called to an abandoned warehouse fire on the city's south side. They found more than smoke and flames. They uncovered a chilling crime scene. Among the debris was evidence of human trafficking, leading Chicago PD to call in federal experts. That's when the surprise was revealed. SVU's very own Olivia Benson, Mariska Hargitay, and Amanda Rollins, Kelly Giddish, were flown in from New York to assist in the investigation. The writers masterfully wove the two worlds together. Benson, ever the empathetic yet fierce advocate for victims, immediately bonded with Sylvie Brett, Kara Kilmer, who had found a traumatized teenage girl hiding beneath rubble. Brett, haunted by the girl's silent, tear-streaked face, confided in Benson, igniting a moment of emotional synergy that fans didn't know they needed. Meanwhile, Severide and Finn Tuchola, Ice-T, butted heads at first. Finn didn't like working with firefighters meddling in law enforcement territory, and Severide wasn't used to someone questioning his instincts. But after an explosive standoff with the trafficking ring's leader, who tried to torch another building as a distraction, the two men formed a begrudging respect. In a now-viral scene, Finn quipped, "You know, for a fireman, you got some real detective energy." Severide fired back, "And for a detective, you don't run from the heat." But it was Chief Bowden, Eamon Walker, and Olivia Benson's quiet leadership moments that gave the episode its gravitas. In one moving scene, the two shared coffee in the break room at 51, reflecting on the weight of their careers. Sometimes, Benson said, I wonder how many more stories I can carry before I drop one. Bowden replied, that's why we carry them together. What made this crossover unique was its subtle, character-driven approach. It wasn't about car chases or gratuitous explosions, though the climactic warehouse showdown was undeniably epic. Instead, it focused on the emotional toll of first responders, a shared trauma that transcended cities, uniforms, and job titles. Back in New York, the SVU team continued investigating links between the Chicago traffickers and a larger interstate operation. That led to a bonus post-credits teaser, Finn and Rollins back in Manhattan, prepping for another raid, with Firehouse 51's crews, Joe Manoso, planning a quick visit to meet with their arson investigator. Could a Law and Order, organized crime follow-up be in the works? NBC remained coy, but rumors swirled. Social media exploded after the crossover aired. Fans celebrated the nuanced interactions, Benson mentoring Brett, Cruz exchanging crime scene theories with Rollins, and even Gallo, Alberto Rosende, flirting with a visiting NYPD tech expert, to the delight of shippers everywhere. One popular tweet read, Gallo plus SVU's hacker girl equals power couple. Make it happen, NBC. The surprise wasn't just for fans. The cast themselves were caught off guard. In a behind-the-scenes interview, Taylor Kinney admitted, when I found out Mariska was coming to set, I thought it was a prank. But once we got rolling, it felt like we'd been working together for years. Mariska Hargitay added, the Chicago crew welcomed us like family. It's rare to find that kind of crossover magic. We all felt it. Production reportedly had to keep the crossover under wraps, even going so far as to shoot some scenes at 3 a.m. to avoid leaks, but it paid off. The episode broke viewership records for both franchises and dominated streaming charts for weeks. Critics hailed it as a masterclass in universe building and a heartfelt reminder of why these shows matter. Showrunner Derek Haas hinted at the possibility of a full-blown three-way crossover with Chicago PD, but added, we want to let this one breathe. The goal was always emotional impact, not just spectacle. But yeah, we're definitely not done. One of the final scenes showed Olivia Benson leaving the firehouse, pausing to look back at the firefighters suited up for their next call. Brett caught her eye, and the two women shared a quiet nod. Warriors, protectors, and now friends. It was a small moment, but in the world of Chicago Fire and Law and Order, SVU, small moments carry the heaviest weight. As fans continue to beg NBC for more team-ups, one thing is clear. When fire and justice join forces, the result is nothing short of blazing brilliance.